Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Kick Media. Today, we're going to run through a digital marketing webinar for business owners and marketing managers. So welcome to the room if you're a marketing manager or a business owner. It's great to have you here. We'll just do a quick sound check. Can everyone just type Y into the chat box if you can hear me loud and clear, please? Okay, fantastic. Excellent. So let's get started. Okay, so each week we run through a digital marketing webinar. We'll try to run them every week. If we can't run it a particular week, we'll let you know. But we want to try and obviously provide as much education for business owners and marketing managers. And I think it's very important, especially when you're running a business. Look, you don't have time to be an expert in each area, and there's lots of different fields and areas of digital marketing. So, however, it is important to know how to, I guess, direct or steer the ship, I guess. So it requires having some general knowledge in each area, and that includes digital. So we don't expect business owners to learn all the ins and outs, but it's important to know enough so you can decide, I guess, which direction you should go in different areas. So we'll go through some of the pieces of the puzzle to figure that out today. Now, being a savvy business owner or an entrepreneur it's important to get into a certain level of knowledge, and we'll go through the pieces, and I'll show you some of them now. Let me just go to the next screen. So there's a lot of pieces of the puzzle, and we literally call it a digital puzzle, and obviously we use online tools instead of puzzles, a bit more sophisticated. But as an example for today, I think it's important to see that it can get messy if you don't decide what pieces to add to your strategy. So let's go through that, and it can be hard to know where to start. Knowing what's going to work, which pieces of the puzzle are going to give me a return on investment, which pieces of the puzzle are too risky or is going to take a long time to pay off. And there's also a lot of marketing technologies that are coming out all the time. And in fact, Google's just recently introduced quite a few in the last 2 months. So knowing what's constantly coming up. So we're having, even for us as a digital agency, it's very difficult. We have to keep our finger on the pulse all the time. We're always reading blogs daily. We're going to all the Google conferences. We went to one this year and found out about a new technology coming out next year. So we're all over that and preparing for it already so that we can roll it out. And it's important to be one step ahead of your competitors. And I often say the best marketing strategies are the ones that your competitors are not doing. And a big part of that is knowing and getting onto the bandwagon of technology as it's coming out. So a lot of our clients, we're rolling out the latest Google call forwarding strategies. We're rolling out before their competitors do. And if you can do that, you're one step ahead. So in this overview, each puzzle needs to be kind of worked out according to what you need in your business. Now, if you have to decide which pieces, when the pieces connect with each other from a tracking and attribution perspective. Okay, so let's look at those 3 areas. One is obviously the which pieces to use. So there's quite a few here. You can see obviously video marketing to SEO, content marketing, GDN, and look, there's probably obviously a lot more than what's on the screen here, but this just gives you an overview of some of the things we generally focus on once we've been with, or clients have been with us for some time. And look, not every piece is going to work for you. So you need to look at each piece, go into the effect, learn a little bit about each one, and figure out which one to start with, and have I guess, eventually a timeline or a mind map, which I'll talk about in a second, on how to roll each one out, and the effectiveness of each. So which is more effective? Well, again, it depends on your business. I often obviously recommend direct response advertising methods to start with. So AdWords being in Yahoo, Yahoo being now part of the AdWords platform. So they're generally intent-based marketing strategies. So people are looking specifically for what you provide as a service, and they're looking for it now. So in terms of return on investment, it can be quite an effective place to start. However, the cost of AdWords, as a lot of you may know, has been going up and up. I've been in this game now for over 10 years, and I've been monitoring the cost per click over the last 10 years. So on its own, AdWords can be quite expensive. And in my opinion, it is just one piece of the puzzle. You need to have the question in your mind: what do I do with the people, or how can I take people that touch my website on a journey? So that involves obviously having remarketing, and there's a few different types of remarketing. So I'm just circling that now. Hopefully you can see my squiggles on the screen. And in that, there's obviously GDN remarketing, and that's a perfect, I guess, relationship between AdWords and obviously delivering a return on investment. So these two should be intrinsically linked in terms of your allocation to spend. In fact, I never start an AdWords account without remarketing. To be honest, it just doesn't work in my opinion. And then obviously there's a few different types of remarketing. So you've got YouTube remarketing, you've got Facebook retargeting. They call it retargeting. It's very similar to remarketing, same technology, just Google owns one technology and Facebook created the other. So, but it's the same concept. People come to your site, they exit your site, and they're followed around the internet with advertising. But in this case, it's only on Facebook. So that's a relatively new. It's only been around a few months now. So we've been rolling it out with a few clients, and it's so new. We've had to kind of innovate and figure out new ways to use it. So that's a relatively new one. YouTube remarketing's been around, but for a while. But we use it in conjunction with obviously pre-roll videos. So if you have some corporate videos, fantastic. You can have a 30-second video, and we can put it as part of a pre-roll, and then people can skip more. So it follows them on that with companion banners as well. GDN, obviously, we do that quite a lot. Referral remarketing, something we've been doing for about 6 months now, and getting some quite positive results, but doesn't work for every business. And then we go to, I guess there's lots of other things you can start to plug in. SEO is a tricky one. You don't always necessarily want to plug that in straight away. Sometimes we recommend doing AdWords for 3 to 6 months and work out which keywords make you money or cost you money, and then start optimizing SEO based on that. So again, it comes down to which pieces, and then the next question is when. So when do we time the rollout of each piece? Some businesses need to make a decision on when do we start doing SEO, and there's pros and cons. I mean, starting early is great because it is an investment. SEO does take a while to pay off. You can't expect a return on investment straight away. It may take 6 to 12 months before you can start to see the positive gains from that. So, we often say if you want to start on your major keywords now that will work, and then as we roll into the strategy over a few months, we may keep adding on additional keywords with data gathered from our AdWords account. Okay, so some of the other strategies here, so LinkedIn advertising, LinkedIn marketing, Facebook, mobile strategy, Instagram. We'll be talking about a lot of these pieces of the puzzle over the next series of weekly webinars. I won't go into every single one, so we may eventually do a whole strategy on how to create unique offers and downloads and show you examples and how you can test what works better, split test, stuff like that. We may go into a session just on CRO, conversion rate optimization, and website analytics, email marketing. We'll do a whole session on that and show you a lot of the email marketing tools and how to use them effectively. So again, lots of different things here, but just giving you an overview of what are the options. And lastly, how do they integrate? So when I say integration, I'm referring to a concept called multi-channel attribution. Now, I'll give you guys a link at the end of this webinar that you can watch, or you can actually watch it in here. I'll give you a link on our website. It's a 3-minute video. Explains how you can start to monitor how each strategy or each piece of the puzzle provides an attribution weighting in terms of value, or I guess in terms of your business, whether it's inquiries or leads or branding. So what impact does each puzzle have on the overall marketing strategy or digital strategy? And then you can start to decide based on intelligent data, okay, I'm going to weight my advertising spend in different areas based on the attribution weighting. So I'll show you that video at the end. Okay. All right, so now what we want to do is eventually get to a point where we've decided which pieces of the puzzle to start with. And this is, you may obviously start taking pieces out or leaving pieces in, and you end up with, I guess, a plan or a digital puzzle that you're going to work with for the next 3 months. Or this may be a goal that you set to have all these pieces in place in the first 3 months. Now, this is an example of what I actually recommend. This is a good goal for most small medium businesses to work toward, with having all of this in place in the first 3 to 6 months. So again, every business is different. You need to decide what suits you, but this is just my suggestion. So Facebook marketing, LinkedIn marketing, again, not for every business. LinkedIn, email marketing, definitely every business should have that in place. Website analytics, extremely important to have it set up correctly. It's one of those things, analytics is quite tricky. It's super important to have it in place and set up correctly. It's very hard to obviously see the value in what you've just set up until you've got a lot of these other pieces of the puzzle in place, and you're starting to get a lot more traffic to your site. Then you realize how valuable analytics is to the overall strategy. CRO definitely, unique offers and downloads definitely, all the forms of remarketing absolutely. Have a 3-month goal to have that in place. At Bing, AdWords, that's a good starting point for a good 3-month goal, in my opinion. Then this may be a goal for 6 months or 12 months or 10 months. So obviously then starting to plug in SEO, having, I guess, Bing in the mix as well, Yahoo, which is the search partner network. Now we've added in what's different, Facebook advertising, Facebook marketing, which is a social / branding strategy. I don't consider Facebook a direct response profitable strategy. For some industries, however, it is, but for most industries, it's not. It's more of a, I guess, an attribution weighting to your overall lead generation strategy. Okay, so it doesn't generate as many leads, but the leads that you do bring in, it's a nurturing strategy. Okay, your mobile strategy, now that's a whole. I'll do another session on that. Your mobile strategy is quite important. There's a lot of data and a lot of innovation changes that have come about, particularly in the last 6 months with mobile and how you can use it for marketing. And it gets into apps. If you build an app, how do you understand the ad mob network? How do you get your advertising on apps, or have your app actually promoted within your AdWords? If you do have an app for your business, let us know. We can do some really cool things with that in terms of adding it on as an extension in your AdWords. It's really cool. So again, these are things that I recommend, obviously over a 6-month period, not necessarily getting an app, but having a mobile strategy. Okay, particularly if you've got a website that's not responsive, really important. Google's just announced recently that a big part of their, I guess, reward penalty type strategy, both for SEO and for AdWords, is if you don't have a responsive website or a mobile site, your competitors are going to have an advantage over you. All right, how are we going for time? Okay, nearly out of time, so let's keep going. So this is how your puzzle may look over a period of 12 months. You eventually put all the pieces of the puzzle together. Okay. Now, when you're obviously putting all the pieces of the puzzle together, knowing how they attribute in terms of value. Now, this is a big strategy, having all this in place. It could take 12 months, it could take more, but you really need to make sure that you've really focused on multi-channel attribution when you get to this stage, so you can know which pieces are attributing more value and results, and then you can start to have a percentage rating in terms of budget allocation between each piece of the puzzle here. Now this is called a digital mind map, this messy little spider that you see, and it puts all the pieces of the puzzle together in a visual format, so everyone in your business or your marketing department can see the game plan or the strategy that we're focusing on. And by making it visual, you can get a better perspective of each area and all the major activities that you should be focusing on, and that should be occurring on a regular basis. However, it's not an action plan. It's a roadmap. So everyone in your team is looking in the same direction as they kind of drive down the road. And I've managed and worked with a lot of marketing teams, and with so many creative heads in a team, it's amazing how things can easily get off track, and everyone starts focusing on their own ideas. So having that major focus there for everyone to look at. And there's a few mind map tools online that you can try. Just Google them. There's lots of just Google mind maps or mind map tools. This one is called Coggle, C-O-G-G-L-E. I like it because it's simple. But there are some that offer a lot more detailed functionality, particularly for large project planning, and they can look like a technical diagram almost, if you want to go down that road. But for a small business, keep it simple, nice and easy, something that you can print out and make it large for everyone to see. I recommend printing it out and putting it on a big wall so everyone can see it on a regular basis. Okay. And lastly, this is what we refer to as a Gantt chart. It is, I guess, once you've decided the pieces of the puzzle that you want to start with, you've created your mind map. Now it's time to plan for action using a Gantt chart. It breaks down the timeline into, I guess, milestones or what I call flag post goals, and it allocates all the responsibility for each person and ensures that basically just stuff gets done. Like I said earlier, it's so easy to have a marketing plan and get off track, but you've got to have that marketing plan detailed with action points, goals, and kind of micro level tasks that have a start and end date and a progress. You can see here 57% complete, or this one hasn't started, or so very important to have that. It's also a commitment to everyone in your team. okay, who's contributing to the marketing strategy. So I recommend printing it out as large as you can and putting it in the office where everyone can see it, so everyone knows who is completed their task, who's behind, and it's a little bit of peer pressure. I would tell you there's nothing more motivating in a team than having a bit of peer pressure to know who's behind on their tasks, especially if you're working as a team. And again, there's a lot of free Gantt chart software tools that are available. You can just Google them. A lot of companies just use spreadsheets, no different. I used to work for a media agency, and I had to use Gantt charts all the time for booking digital campaigns, TV, radio, even print media. The one I use actually is called smartsheet.com. So I've got the link there, URL if you want to check that out. So it's relatively cheap and it's great, and it's so simple to use. Again, there are some more sophisticated ones, but it's up to you what you want to use there. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So next week, I'll leave you guys with a YouTube video to watch at the end of this. But next week, we're going to talk about what's called the 4 pillars to a digital strategy. And obviously there's 4 there: target better quality traffic, convert more traffic into leads, convert more leads into sales, and track where leads and sales come from. And it's extremely valuable. I mean, obviously you can have the marketing strategy in place, but if you don't have this fundamental understanding of the marketing workflow of how to generate leads, how to nurture leads, how to obviously track and obviously build a marketing pipeline. If you don't have that fundamental concepts in place, your strategies may not be executed correctly. So these are the principles that we use in every form of digital marketing, even offline marketing. We use the same principles with everything we do. And if you follow these, you should be right with quite a successful growth plan for your business. So that's pretty much it. Don't miss out on that webinar. That'll be next week. It'll break down into a series of 4 sessions. We'll do an overview of everything next week, but then over the next few weeks after that, we'll break down and focus into each area. So I hope you enjoyed today's session. I know it's nice and short, but I know everyone's business owners are generally busy, so we like to get through it pretty quickly. I'll leave you guys with a video to watch if you want to stick around. Otherwise, thanks for attending, and we'll see you all next week.
When someone visits your website and does something you want them to do, like buy an item or visit a certain page, it's called a conversion. And as a marketer, you've probably set up conversion tracking to see what's working. Usually, the last ad, search, or referral clicked on directly before the conversion gets all the credit. In reality, a conversion is a lot like scoring a goal in a basketball game. It takes more than one player to make it happen. And if you are coaching the team, you'd want to see all the players who assisted in the goal, so you could identify how they interacted and score again and again, right? It's the same in online marketing. If you think of the marketing channels that drive traffic to your site as your players, the ones making the assists are often just as important as the one making the goal. The ways your customers interact with your channels are all part of the marketing funnel leading to conversion. Often, your customers engage more with these channels than they do with the final click that's getting all the credit. Imagine being able to see how your customers interacted with all your channels before the conversion. Just like a coach, you'd be able to identify channels making the assists and optimize your marketing for more conversions. Well, now you can with multi-channel funnels, new in Google Analytics. When you set up a goal or track e-commerce transactions in Google Analytics, multi-channel funnels automatically shows you how customers interact with your digital channels for up to a month or more before the conversion happens. Let's have a look. Starting with the overview report, you can see a snapshot of the total number of conversions, as well as the amount of conversions that had assists before the last click. Then to see the number of interactions your visitors had with your channels, check out the path length report. Here, you can easily see if conversions happened because of interactions in the marketing funnel, or if the last ad clicked was solely responsible for the conversion. Understanding customer purchasing behavior is one of the most important insights you can have. With the time lag report, you can see the amount of time customers take from the first channel interaction to conversion. Another report called Top Paths shows the different routes customers take before the conversion. You can view all these paths through filters like campaign or keyword to see the popular paths through your funnel and find out what's working. The Top Paths report can also tell you how your channels work together and in what order to bring you conversions. For instance, is an email newsletter causing searches that lead to conversions? Or perhaps a banner ad is triggering direct visits? Get even more granular with the Assisted Conversions Report, where you can see which specific channels, campaigns, or keywords assisted and how. It's a great way to test and see how new campaigns and channels are contributing in the funnel. Multi-channel funnels in Google Analytics, the easy way to see and analyze how customers interact with your channels to optimize your marketing funnel.